G'day men, hope we're well. I've had a great weekend so far. It'll be a greater weekend tomorrow when the Penny Panthers take the title, that's for sure. Fuck yeah, the dads. Just wanted to dive in and, I'm rarely going to be doing pump up videos, boys, where I'm trying to charge you up and inspire you with all these fucking words and energy and all that sort of stuff. It's really about, a lot of the times for us, just slowing down. And that's the entire point of us really carving out the future and ultimately the legacy that we choose in our life, having the ability to stop and slow down and just look around us, look at what we're currently doing, look at where we're coming from and where we want to go. And I just wanted to share just a short little piece today and a reflective piece, doing it at 9 o'clock at night as well. I'm cooked, man. Fuck, it's been a big day. I'm ready for bed. But I just wanted to share and talk about what we all need, what every man needs in his life. And Lillian had an operation a couple of days ago. She's doing great. Tonsils and grommets. All of my kids have had operations. Hey, champion. Good to see you, bro. And so took her for a walk, went in the pram and didn't take my phone, nothing, no music, no headphones, no audiobooks, none of that sort of stuff. Just took her. Sun was out, there were a few clouds around, but it was beautiful. Took her for a walk and I'm walking and I've got 3 young kids and it's fucking crazy in there, man. It gets crazy in here too. But 3 young kids, there's always chaos. There's kids and then there's what we're building with RDM, with our High Performance Father program, with Dad Strong, which is our online store for dads, and there's fucking heaps of stuff. Always something going on. And then there's your personal life, there's your relationships. And I took her for a walk and there was just silence. And it just hit me. I was walking for a little bit and I looked up, and not to get really philosophical or airy-fairy on you guys, but I looked up and saw the clouds and I saw a few birds doing some things. There was some Indian miners going after the magpie, and the magpie was just cruising. He was the fucking king. We call him the Baron. He just dominates this area and swoops everyone. He knows who I am because I feed him, but I'm just observing everything. I'm just being present and still, like I was walking, but there was just sort of this level of calmness. And the word that came to me, boys, which sounds funny because a lot of times you hear this word when you're thinking war terms, was peace. It's what we all need and it's what we all want, and we must give that to ourselves. If you're a father, well, you are a father, all the guys in this group are fathers, but if you're watching this and you resonate with what I'm saying, coupled with the pitfalls of the opposite of that, the chaos of life, the grind of getting up, not having the energy, being lethargic, not being able to perform, being triggered, short-tempered, because there's all this different chaos. We get swept up in the whirlwind of life and we just feel like everyone's depending on us. There's an expectation to perform, and we perform, but it comes at the cost of our family. So then there's times where we dive back into our work, or we dive more into work because that's what's familiar. We know that's where we can go out and hunt life, which means we have purpose and fulfillment. And because we have that, we just stay ingrained in that, which comes at the cost of not spending the time in it. All this sort of crazy shit. And I'm not trying to speak too fast. I get that as feedback sometimes, but it's just part of my being and working with so many men and seeing this is such a common pattern that we all fall into, myself included. Just understand that, boys. Like you are the solution. You are your greatest asset. The second you forget that is when you become your greatest liability. So you're not alone. I get triggered too. I get short-tempered too. I guess the difference with a lot of the times when I find this position is I invest and create stability inside myself by creating space, taking time out, slowing down the world, which means the reactive triggers that come to the forefront, like a man about to go to war, which happens with our kids at times, gets overruled by actually the subconscious, who then kicks in and goes, well, no. When this happens, this is the level of energy and intent your children need to be firm and direct, but not to lose control. This all came about as a revelation that I wanted to share, but I didn't want to dive in until tonight because I just wanted to live and experience the day with my family and jump on tonight when a lot of you are probably in more of that cruisier state we're about to enter, our sleep. And night routines and morning routines are important. They dictate a lot of the feelings for the day. And talk about peace. Like, I'm going for this walk and it was just awesome. Like birds chirping and the lawnmowers going, and there wasn't like it was complete silence, but I just felt at peace. I was like, fuck man, I can just breathe. Having 2 of my kids undergo operations, yes, not heavy, severe ones or life-threatening, although every time you go under the knife, there's no guarantee. I had 9 operations over my career playing rugby league and never knew if I was going to wake up because they were pretty major ones. But, it's been a big year for all of us, I'm sure. And we all have different lists and different ways that we're trying to handle the volatility of the outside environment, because there is a lot of volatility, a lot of crazy shit going on, a lot of stuff that doesn't have our best interest at heart, a lot of fear driven. We all experience fear, but when you express fear, that's fucking bullshit. Like, that's not on. You must be cautious of that, because I never want to put that on my children which becomes worry, concern, doubt, pulling away from expanding. What you say yes to, you say no to something else, which means if I'm not focusing on what I can control, what I can do, and growing and becoming a better man in life, then I'm actually focusing on the opposite of that. And all the different things, fellas, that really pull us into a subliminal state of being if we allow it. The greatest way you don't allow that is by investing in yourself and just creating some space and some peace in your life. You must do that. Owe it to yourself. And there's times where, you know what, the wife might be under the pump with the kids, or she had different plans or other things going on. There are times where I communicate and I say, look, I love you all, and what you want to do or what you're doing, I can't give you the time and energy you need right now because I need to go and give myself some. So I'm going to go for this walk. I'll take Lillian with me. She's going to go for a sleep. She's been very up and down since her operation, a little bit, crazy in the head. She's on some medication to help her with her pain, but took her for a walk, got out, and I had me time again. Boys, what do you do to create peace inside of your life? And I want you to comment here and post on your shares and revelations what I'm sharing tonight, just on a reflective state. What has led to the times when you haven't given yourself that ability to create some space and peace? What has that led to, which you've looked back and gone, that's what happened. I didn't create control and certainty in myself by actually living the life that I wanted for me, which meant I became triggered or reactive to what was happening. You can respond, you can create, but when you react, a lot of the times it doesn't come from your own best interest at heart because you are purely reacting. So post in the comment section, fellas, how do you create space? And what does that look like for you? When I say the word peace, just being able to breathe again. Just having peace inside your life. You know what? There might be some challenge with the relationships. You know what? Some of you guys might be divorced. You know what? You might see your children not as much as you like, or you might not see them at all. But how can we communicate? Well, there are a lot of different moving parts with us as men in life where, my knee's completely fucked. Like it's going to need a replacement for sure. And it troubles me every single day. And I don't allow that to enter my mindset because I don't give it the energy that someone who wouldn't take that liberation inside of himself instead of acting like a victim going, my knee's fucked, rugby league was bullshit and I got nothing out of it. I lost my home, I was nearly homeless, made no money, and my body was torn to pieces with a broken face, broken jaw, broken shoulder, which needed reconstructions. I lost a decade of my life to that, man. There are all periods and pockets of life, fellas, where shit gets pretty crazy and real. The biggest thing to understand is that we just need to keep turning up. And not just turn up and go through the motions. We fucking turn up and we win. And we find a way to win. And winning sometimes is being the Viking. Winning is sometimes being the panda. That's one of my most proudest podcast episodes, which really talks about the caliber of man and the different characters that we can and should play. There's times when you need to be the Viking, ready to go to war. And there's other times when you need to be the panda and that soft, lovable, cuddly person. And that's not taking away anyone's manhood. It's about a level of pride and self-value in knowing the type of energy that you can, will and should express to what's surrounding you with people, places and things that you love, which can only come to the forefront if you're actually giving back to yourself first so you can be 100% for your family. And one of the greatest ways to do that, boys, is creating space. And just creating that level of peace again, whether it's nature, the environment. How would you know what your reality is without your sensory perceptions to guide you and dictate what that looks like? Which means how can you look after your sensory perceptions, what you see, touch, taste, hear, smell? How can you look after that if you don't dive into that with your level of investment inside of your mindset and the vessel that you're living life through in the body? Critical things. But one of the best ways to start and ignite that is just finding peace again. And one of the best ways to do that is definitely through using your sensory perceptions. Could be cooking yourself a great meal, getting out in nature, going for a walk. Animals and pets can be phenomenal things too in building that oxytocin, some of the happy hormones that come out. Reading a book, a podcast, our podcasts, some are fiery, some are pretty cruisy. Some 432 hertz music, that's a nice little hum for the body. It could be something as simple as just heading into the beach or heading in for a little trail walk into the bush and just breathing in the air. I mean, fuck man, we're only ever a couple of minutes away from death. Like that's it. So the oxygen is a gift, right? Take care, men. Have an amazing night. Have an amazing life. Of course, have an amazing life, but we're not gone yet. We've got plenty ahead. But have an amazing night. Post comments, revelations, shares below. I love how much this group is growing. It's going to be a phenomenal group with thousands of dads very shortly. I'm going to actually be doing a lot of paid advertising to join this group. So my goal here is to actually invest money in the community, and I'll never sell you here and I don't want anything back. I want to invest money in the community to get more men in here so we can build this community in really having that level, not only of support, but that level of perception and really seeing that there are different ways that you can approach life to really nurture yourself and get the most out of yourself. And that's what this is about, men. It really is. Take care, boys. Have an amazing night, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.